check out all that we're sprouting up on a protective diet for protection. And I got all of these ready for class so that I could show you. This is day 5. Some of these were ready yesterday, but I greened them up. I got them into the sun to produce some chlorophyll in my window today. You don't have to do it. As we talked about, that's a step that you can add if you like to. I have some of my favorite sprouts that are sure thing sprouts, and then some tests that I've been testing for you to show you examples in class tonight. So here we have green peas. These are an awesome crunchy addition to just about anything. If I don't have anything fresh to go in my kids' spaghetti, I top them with some green peas or any of these sprouts. But great addition to salads, great addition to sandwiches, rice dishes, whatever you want to garnish. I'm using all of my sprouts to garnish and add more phytochemical protection to my diet, especially when I don't have anything fresh in the fridge, which is rare. But if that happens, you always have sprouts in your pantry, so get them going. So all of these sprouts I did according to the recipe. In the 1.5 pint jars, I did 1/4 cup. In the quart jars, I did 1/2 cup, just so you know. So you see the sizes. Work with what size jars you have. Get those quart wide mouth sprouting lids. They work awesome. So easy, so inexpensive to get started. So Daikon Radish, that's a newer sprout that I've been sprouting up, and I love it. And it's packed with sulforaphane, just like our broccoli sprouts, because it's a cruciferous vegetable. These are spicy and zesty and good on just about everything. And then I have, and you can get classic radish sprouts. They don't have to be Daikon radish. And then here I have red unholed lentils. I want to be specific about this because these are not the red lentils that we have in our protective diet pantry that we're making stovetop red lentil chili with, or you're making your awesome dal with. No, these are different. Those red lentils are split and they will not sprout. These are whole, unhulled. That's why they're sprouting. Now these are quite pricey for sprouts, and you have to buy them sprout specific because most people don't use unhulled red lentils to cook with. So what I would recommend is French green lentils or organic green lentils that you get through bulk order, through Azure, or from your health food store, because they're much less expensive than these, because these aren't as readily available. But I had to try them, and they're very fresh in flavor and nice, just like any other lentil sprout. So there's nothing really that special about them, except they're red. Then we have our broccoli sprouts, of course. The #1 sprout loaded with sulforaphane, and you can see this jar is just packed with sprouts. I love these on anything and everything. A handful of them will do it. A cup of broccoli sprouts is equal to the sulforaphane of 25 of broccoli. So that's got a lot of bang for a little bit of crunch. And your broccoli sprouts, I want to point this out. They grow root hairs. They're little white hairs. I want to see if we can check these out on my camera here. That is not mold. They are fuzzy white hairs. If you get mold on your sprouts, which in all the years I've been sprouting I've never experienced, it would be dark, it would be black, it would be blue, not white fuzzy root hairs. Those are just little hairs helping the broccoli sprouts grab onto each other. That's perfect. They should be fresh in fragrance. And if your sprouts are going bad, they'll have a little bit of a broccoli smell to them. But if you notice and you're like questioning, you're like, I think these are bad, they've probably gone bad. They haven't been rinsed properly. You need to keep them on an angle like I show you in this class. Keep them angular so that they drain all the water properly. Rinse them 2 times a day. If you're in a dry climate like here, it's fine. If you're in a humid climate like Florida, or you're in the South, or like we were in La Jolla, it was very humid. I had to rinse my sprouts like 3-4 times a day to keep them from going bad. So Chinese cabbage. Oh yeah. Just like our broccoli sprouts. This one is going to be just crunchy little tiny sprouts. Oh my gosh, loaded with sulforaphane. This is a fun one. That's a new one I've added into my routine. And then we have red clover sprouts, or you could use classic clover sprouts. Any clover sprout, it's a good first timer sprout, like an alfalfa sprout. It's mild, it's sweet. That's why the bunnies like the clover, because it's sweet. And kids like all sprouts because they're participating in the process of growing them, remembering to rinse them before they go up and get ready for bed at night and brush their teeth. Let's rinse the sprouts. Make it a family thing if you have kids to help you, because whatever kids grow, whatever they prepare in the kitchen, anything they cook with you, they're going to be more inclined to be excited about eating, and these are fun. They'll remind you to incorporate them into your meals, because sometimes we sit down to dinner and we're like, oh, I forgot the sprouts, and then we go to the fridge and get the sprouts out. Okay, this is my priciest sprout that I've tried so far. This is an onion sprout. And it is day 5, and it's just starting to sprout. So this one, I'm going to let it go the full week and see what happens. It still has a crunchy onion seed, not my preference. So I'm hoping that it comes about and it softens up as I rinse and drain throughout the week, and I'll let you know. And then these were some tests. So normally sprout seeds and most of the sprout seeds are sprout seed exclusive. They'll tell you from your sprout seed supplier like that they're a sprouting seed. Well, I picked up some microgreen seeds and some bulk seeds for my garden, and I wanted to see if I could do dill and parsley and cilantro into sprouts, because you know how much I love these herbs and they're so protective, and I thought if I can sprout them, this is the answer to everything. All through the winter, I'm going to have my herbs in a little jar. Well, the dill, it's sprouting, but it's still very strong in flavor. So it's not something that I could incorporate like in the dill rice or something like that. So I'm not really sure if these are going to work out, if this is going to be usable. But why not give it a try? Cilantro, big fail. It's day 5. There's nothing happening here. So I think that's a fail. I'll be using all my bulk seeds in my garden, and I might give them a shot in microgreen trays, which cilantro seeds are hard to grow into microgreens to begin with, but these are all organic, beautiful seeds, so we'll see how they do. Italian parsley, total fail. So those are going into microgreen trays and in my garden. Not this batch exactly. I could try planting them, but I have a lot of seeds that I ordered. Then this was a fail I wanted to show you. This is a green lentil that I had in my pantry for probably 4 or 5 years from People's Market bulk bin. Those lentils were just too old, way too old to give me a sprout. A couple of them sprouted. So when this happens, throw this in your compost or toss it in the trash if you don't have a garden compost going, and just chalk it up to old lentils. They probably would have been really hard if I would have cooked them anyway. So use fresh lentils, fresh bulk lentils or chickpeas. Chickpeas aren't my favorite to sprout. I wanted to mention that too. I don't have any here today just because they're very crunchy when they're sprouted, and I know some people blend them into hummus after they sprout them, but they're just too raw and green flavored for me. You could make them into falafel, but that's about the texture of them. So if you've made the falafel with me, you know what I'm talking about. They're very green until they get cooked. So here's all of my sprouts that I got going on for class, and let's take a look at some more, and my mung beans, and let me show you how I do those differently.